find your customers?
How do we find our customers? That is a great question. I did not see coming. Um, a lot of different ways. We do a tremendous amount of digital. We spend a lot of effort and time in our websites and our social media and lead generation that way. But honestly, the majority of our customers come through word of mouth. They've had someone else who's had a tremendous experience, and we've lived up to the expectations that we set for ourselves.
Mhm.
And so as a result, we have a lot of customers reach out to us, and we give a lot of intellectual information out on our website that most people would hold you hostage for. So we don't make you surrender your name and serial number and fingerprint and everything
Yeah.
else to give you data.
Yeah.
We want to be known as experts, and we want to share what we know.
Mhm.
Now, trade secrets, that's a different thing. Patents, that's a different thing. But application wise,
Mhm.
so as an industry expert and through all of our digital, which we were early adopters on a lot of technology, so we use a lot of technology.
That's fantastic. How many competitors would you say you are, and where do you fit in the ranking on that?
That's a great question, and one that nobody ever asked, and I love to talk about.
Wow.
And the reason I love to talk about it is it's very siloed. If I'm just talking about Spock Automation, because we have a family of companies,
Yeah.
but if in that oil and gas space, there are a handful and a very small handful of competitors, and there may be 15 different verticals in that space.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm one or two that one customer might be, a competitor might do one or two here, or they might do this lift here, or they might do rod pumps, or they
Right.
might do ESPs.
Mm-hmm.
We're the only company in North America that has specific products for all the artificial lift and compression products. So we're sitting in a really unique space. We're the largest independent in North America. That's just it. There's no other way of putting it. I can't put it any plainer than that. So
That's fantastic.
we're in a great position. We have huge market shares in the markets that we participate in.
That's awesome. What bugs you about your industry, and if anything?
Bugs me about my industry. Honestly, I love my industry. So you're hitting me with a couple of good ones today that I wasn't prepared for. I don't know that anything bugs me today. It did when I started.
Mm-hmm.
It was a huge propensity to not embrace change.
Right.
Out of fear of technology.
Right. Yeah.
And so we have, I think, actually bridged a lot of that gap, and a lot of the dinosaurs that existed 20 years ago when we got into it have retired out. And really, I'll say today, the majority, there's exceptions, but the majority embrace technology. They are looking for better ways to do it, more efficient, reduce carbon emissions, and all the things that we offer. So we're pretty excited about it.
That's fantastic. So who do you generally talk to? When you said most of your business is through word of mouth. So whether it's that way or somebody's doing, outbound prospecting, who are you targeting in the company? What level?
From the C-suite all the way down to field management. That's where it is, because we're in the production side of the business. And so if we can help you operationally or with your ESG initiatives, because really every product we sell has an ESG element to it where it actually helps you save, energy or maximize the energy that you consume. It has the ability to increase production while reducing your carbon footprint as far as with generators and other areas where you're actually emitting CO2 into the atmosphere. So we can help you with the overall power and load structures. So we just hit a lot of buttons in a lot of different areas that upper management, field supervision, people that have responsibility for reliable and cost of getting product out of the ground and moving it around through the pipeline.
Does what you do have any application into the utility industry?
It does. One of the great wins of last year during COVID was we focused a lot of time and effort into a new company that we started, which is a spinoff. It's 100% the exact same hardware we've been deploying, but with some new grid software, and a few nuances are different. But we've got over 70,000 inverters deployed worldwide. We take that technology, that experience, and we wrapped it into something that we call Spot Grid Inverter Technologies. It's the new company. And that particular company does microgrids. It does a lot of different things in marine, DoD, critical power for data centers, shore power, industrial applications, anywhere that you have electrical and you need either a hybrid system so that you use alternative energies. So you could bring wind, solar, generation, battery, all into one device, and it acts as if a power router, so to speak, and will feed all of them, and you can switch between the powers automatically so that if you're in a peak demand situation, you can use the most cost-effective energy source for that period of time during the day. Or critical power, you might want to have redundancy, and so we can build redundant power systems and include battery, and we can be charging the battery, and we can discharge and do all of these things at the speed of nanoseconds. So it's we don't necessarily chase the utilities. What we do is we take it at the field, the industrial application, and at the process application. So we handle electrical grids at that size.
That's pretty slick. Was this something you were working on pre-COVID? And if so, boy, was that smart. And how did, being in the oil and gas industry, how did COVID affect your business?
Two great questions. And I'll start with the latter. It affected us greatly. It was one of those perfect storms between COVID, and then there was an oil crisis that happened almost simultaneously. At one point, a barrel of oil was negative $35. People tend to forget that now, as it has rebounded some this year. So our industry was devastated, quite frankly, and it reduced our revenues almost instantly by well over 50%. Now, I'm proud to say that as a result of the culture and how we run the company through smart finances, we were able to retain all of our people. And
awesome.
And, being in a critical business, we were able to actually stay open. We had been forward thinking. Our company runs in the cloud. We're an early adopter to Salesforce.
Awesome.
We've been on Salesforce now for over 17 years.
Fantastic.
And our ERP system sits in the cloud. So when we had to shut down, except for emergencies, the company ran. Everybody grabbed their computers and monitors and worked from the house. And it was pretty bumpless outside of manufacturing and shipping and receiving. But we're glad to be behind it, obviously. But it sparked really a lot of it showed that the effort and the time that we've put into the culture and this innovative spirit that we really foster here kicked off amazing during that. It really turned out, even though revenue was down, to be one of the biggest blessings because it field tested our culture. Mm-hmm. And everybody stepped up. We invented we've applied for several new patents. We started this new company. We actually did start working on it a year before COVID, but what it did is it afforded us the time to really do it right. And in a much faster time frame. So we brought that to market. And actually when it first hit, I will say that our team did a phenomenal job. They started something that we call 2-minute drives, just short series of videos that are done throughout the company. And these 2-minute drives are just short little videos that our team decided that they wanted to do. They made these, and they're self-help type videos to teach you something about electrical, about drives, about our equipment, about drives in general, and some of it's on instrumentation, because we knew a lot of people would not be able to, they were going to be laid off, obviously. And some of them will never return to this industry, unfortunately. Because they're going to have to find another way to feed their family. So what they wanted to do, and I totally agreed, as part of our lift up the industry and our customers, they made these videos to help not only our existing customers, but those that are leaving the industry or in other industries, to give some of our intellectual gifts and knowledge away that is transferable in other industries, so that they could make that transition and provide for their own families. So I was real proud of that, as well as we did a lot of other initiatives during that time. They're just so innovative, both internal processes and then outwardly facing towards customers.
Carol Schultz here. Thanks for watching this excerpt from Authentically Successful. The conversation doesn't end there. So if you want to hear this episode in full and all my conversations with many other successful founders and CEOs, please visit verticalelevation.com/podcast.